The T-100LT is a Russian Tier 10 light tank, and it has taken the light tank class by storm, but for good reason. Not only is this the most popular Tier 10 light currently, and it's only been out for 1 month, but it's also the #1 performing, but it's quite easy to understand why. It has the best power to weight ratio for a Tier 10, but it also has the highest top speed at 68 kilometers per hour. It has insane damage per minute, sitting almost at 3,600, which is pretty ridiculous when you think this is a light tank, which is usually supposed to suffer on the gun. It's also got plenty of penetration to cut through vehicles like the E100 turret. It's also got ridiculous armor. How many times have you aimed at the side of a T-100LT and it's just not penetrated, it's hit the track, stopped it, or just not even stopped it, and it just keeps on driving? You'll aim at the upper plate, it'll auto ricochet off, or the turret. Yeah, the T-100LT is 100% an overpowered vehicle. I'm not sure if Wargaming is planning on nerfing it in the future, but right now it's averaging 300 more damage than the T-22 medium. That is how crazy the vehicle is performing. But we're not going to be talking about the T-100LT in today's video. What we're going to be talking about is the Vickers Light. Now, while the T-100 does have the insane statistics and as well Blitz star stats going for it, I do actually think that the Vickers Light is a very, very solid counter to a vehicle like the T-100LT. The thing about the T-100 is these statistics are played by average players, and I definitely think that the T-100 gets away with a lot more than the Vickers Light. But if you understand how to run a vehicle like the Vickers, I think that you can actually get even better games out in this vehicle. So let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of these two tanks. The main advantage of the Vickers is the gun. It's got pretty solid aiming time, really solid dispersion, and okay DPM. It's about medium levels of DPM at 3,012 if you're like me, running Cali, and if you're going up to Gunrammer, 3,239. So it's got just about 200 less damage per minute than the T-100LT. But the big advantage is, first of all, you gain alpha. You have 350 instead of 310. And the best part is this tank carries HESH, 116 millimeters of HESH pen. Now, here's the thing about the T-100LT. The lower plate on this vehicle is 80 millimeters thick. The side armor is 40, and the rear is 30. Now, what that means is every single surface on this vehicle is able to be penned by the HESH from a Vickers Light, and quite easily, if I may add. If a T-100 tries YOLOing you, if you use your adrenaline and you pen your HESH shells, you will easily out DPM it with having over 4,000 effective, making the T-100 actually quite easy to destroy if you're using a Vickers Light. When it comes to the other advantages, the Vickers Light has the most view range in Tier 10, meaning that you will outspot T-100LTs and every other heavy tank trying to cross, giving your team more ideas of where to push their vehicles. And the best part about the Vickers Light is the fact that it has 10 degrees of gun depression, which is 5 more than the T-100LT, making it very flexible. Now, I don't think that the Vickers Light, and it's not I don't think, I know that the Vickers Light is not as good as the T-100LT. For just my stats alone, I'm going 90% in my T-100 with around 3,500 average damage. However, I was able to go for the 10 battles I played in my Vickers Light today with 100% win rate and 3,600 average damage, so it's not like this vehicle can't do well. So what does the enemy team have in this game? They have a T-92E1, they got an E100, I'm just trying to see their mobile tanks. I got a 92 and a WT-120. Apart from that, I easily have the medium side taken care of. And that's one of the really nice things about the Vickers Light is that it's actually more of a medium. That's how I've always thought of it. In fact, personally, I believe that Wargaming should have just made the Vickers Light a medium tank. But yeah, it's a light tank and it's here to stay like this, but it is a very strong light at that. In just the first 2 shots of this battle, I've been able to take 1,000 hit points off of that T-92E1. And we're going to be able to get another one out. Aiming, and oh yeah. That's one of the downsides of the Vickers is its .317 dispersion. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, but it definitely misses shots that it shouldn't. Oof, another shot into that T-92E1. That is 3 shells and 1,400 hit points. Yeah, you could never, ever do that in a T-100LT, especially because you need 10 degrees of gun depression to work that spot hull down, which I was doing unless I wanted to expose myself to what that yo just got shot by, being the FV215B183. Now the 183 we know is off to the corner of the map, and I'm being very, very cautious here, but I know that he just shot my yo, so I have enough time to get in the cover, get down here, before that 183 will either detect me or shoot at me. Now the 183 does know I'm going down here because I was spotted, But I'm also knowing that, so I'm just going to quite carefully make my way over here and try to juke a shot. So here's the 183. Let's get a nice shot range to his roof, and oh, you fell for it, dude. So because of that, now I'm able to just drive my tank right up on in front of him. There's an easy shot into his vehicle, and I've put on my adrenaline. I do see the Yo with the U-100 off to the side, but right now that's not my problem because I want to start shooting and clearing this FE2 and 5B. There you go. Somebody else shoots him. I need a average roll, but oh, it low rolls 337. Why? Why do you got to do me like this, Wargaming? Well, either way, at least the 183 is a one-shot, even with an HE shell if I need to shoot him later, and I'm gonna get out. Now, we've already managed to deal 2,800 damage in this battle, but as you can see, I'm already down 2 tanks. Thankfully, they are just tier 9s, but that is still 2 tanks. I'm getting out as quickly as possible so I don't have to deal with what's going on over there, and I also thankfully didn't really bleed all too much health dealing with all that debacle. So yeah, it's not bad, but you can clearly see at this point in time, it doesn't look like all too greatness is going for my team. My teammate, Flossie, is helping me out here, holding off the WZ-120 while I'm trying to push up and clear this player. So here we go. Let's see if I can get one shell in. Nice. One snap into the WZ. I'll take a shot, and yeah, this guy is obviously going to be taken out, and kaboom! There you go. Out from the battlefield you go. Now, in this time right now, it's a 3 versus 5, which isn't great, although the 183 is a one-shot. The worst part is just down to the fact that Flossie is almost a one-shot, and yeah, we have a 183 who is about to die. So yeah, this is almost a 1 versus 5 right now, but the 95 makes a massive mistake. He turns around, and when he turns around, that means that now Flossie isn't going to be killed by him, and this T-57 Heavy, instead of being smart and rushing Flossie, tunnels me, so I'm able to shoot him, clear his tank, and then this 95 doing whatever he's doing, I'm going to continue to pepper, and there you go, Flossie finishes him off. This battle should not have been a win. I'm going to be honest. This should have been a really, really big, fat, stinking loss. But because that 95 and 57 decided to, for some reason, focus me instead of dealing with Flossie, we were able to quite easily turn what was a loss into an actual potential win. So we're up to 800 on the base cap, which is great. And you can see, I'm capturing base B. The FE2 and 5B 183 that we had died on the beaches, which means that that E100 there had to go all the way from the beaches, and the Yo had to climb all the way on up. And we are already up to 860 on the base capture. Even if their team captured all of the bases at this point, we would still win just because we have so much on base cap. Now we're about to break the 900 marker. There goes the E100 driving on up, and at this point, I knew I had enough health to take a shot from that E100, and he also just fired, which means I can aim in a shell into his tank, and nice! Alright, so there's one shell. We're up to 4,600 damage in this game so far. Let's aim in another shell into the C-100. There you go. Nice tap again. And yeah, I don't even know what he was aiming at there, I'm going to be honest. But that's fine with me, because I'm going to aim in a shell on his track wheel. Nice 403 roll. And with that, Flossie gets a shell in. So we need one more shot to finish his tank off. And wow, that was a weird shot, wasn't it? You really would have expected that one to penetrate. But either way, we're up to 980 on the cap. I finished him off, and that is a win. The Vickers Light, as you can see, clearly and was capable of quite easily coming out with a victory in that battle. Now, I definitely think the T-100LT could have done pretty much everything I did there, but it definitely showcases that the Vickers Light still has fantastic carrying potential. So let's go into one more battle here and see how it works out, this time on Middleburg. And look at that, we are up against a T-100LT. Now, Middleburg is a great map if you're in a mobile tank, because you start on top, which is where you want to be on this map in general. And Flossie, because he's running the AMX M454 in platoon with me, is also a very fast tank. It's actually the fastest heavy with power to weight ratio. So he's going to get up here quite quick, and all I really need to do is hold out while that's going on. So I'm going to go right into my famous bush. I love going into this spot. Gives you very easy detections on the enemy team early on, depending on where they go. There you go. Sheridan spotted him. Boom. A snap right into his vehicle for 350. Now, right now, we know the VK-72 is down below. And while that's also going on, there's also somebody else in base B because it's being captured. So with the Sheridan looking like he's running away, with the VK-72 down there and the Jagdpanzer down, you would think that most of the enemy team is down below. But weirdly enough, there's a T-100LT up top. So already a T-100's over here, but then there's an E5 over here. Okay, this is starting to get weird. And then a WZ. Yeah, This game was kind of interesting, I'm going to be really honest. Nice snap into that WZ. You can see where that easy heat penetration comes into place. And this is what I was talking about with that Hesh. Now, weirdly enough, that didn't penetrate, but you can quite easily see where, in any normal situation, that Hesh shell should have penetrated that T-100LT and made the guy a one-shot. Now, I'm using my gun depression here because of how this tank is situated. It's actually really nice to be able to snap shells into opponents. T-100's being a bit of a nuisance, but I'm not super worried as it is. We've already managed to deal 2,000 damage, and because Flossie's already up in position, this is just a free win. So there you go. Flossie finishes off the T-100 as I ask him to, which is great for me, because now what I'm able to do after the WZ fire dish drive right behind this E5, get a Hesh shell into the rear of his tank, 460 roll, and drive away from the WZ. Not only that, but now we got the Sheridan, but because I have Hesh again, I'm penetrating the Sheridan in the lower plate for 493. But wait, there's more. Another Hesh shell into his lower plate again for another 470, which gives Flossie the ability to finish him off. I love the gun on this tank. We are already at 3,600 damage, and I can definitely say that the T-100LT would not have been able to do what I did in that battle there. Not only would I have required more gun depression with the T-100LT to work that position, but I just would not have had the opportunities to get out those HE shells like I did there on the Sheridan, and even try to get the HE on the T-100LT. So here we go. We're already at 3,600. We got two tanks left. We got the Jagdpanzer. Oh, well, there was a Jagdpanzer, but not anymore. Not the Jagdpanzer, but the 268 got demolished. So there you go. I did just about 4,000 in this game. I had plenty of games. As I said, I averaged about 3,600 damage in the vehicle today for 10 battles. I just thought I would showcase these two games because they were pretty nice and pretty good to showcase just where the Vickers Light still feels incredibly strong. I will say, just as a disclaimer, the big reason I feel the T-100LT does so well is because it takes much less effort. Players that do not understand how to play light tanks are now getting away with really dumb maneuvers. I cannot tell you how many T-100LT players I have watched YOLO into an enemy team and get away with it. You can't do that with a Vickers Light. Not only is it slower, but it's much taller and easier to penetrate. So that is the real thing I've noticed, is that the T-100 just gets away with more. But that doesn't mean that it's a better tank. I honestly do think that any smart player in a Vickers Light can easily outperform a T-100LT if you know what you're doing. But that's a big if. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye!